Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bryan Horne. I am from Dive Curaçao, and we represent a lot of the high-quality operators and accommodations that are on the island. But also, we have a platform that absolutely dials everything in for Curaçao, whether it be diving or whether it be topside activities. So this presentation is simply to kind of give you a taste, a feel for Curaçao. I could sit here and talk to you about Curaçao till I'm blue in the face because I absolutely love it. I arrived here 14 years ago or so, maybe 13. Hard to keep track of time when you live on this beautiful island. But at the end of the day, I stayed here and I absolutely fell in love with it, both from a topside perspective as well as from an underwater perspective. So as you can imagine, I'm a little bit biased for this beautiful island. So instead of me telling you what great things Curaçao has to offer, what I've done is I've compiled a list of top 10 reasons from a variety of different international media sources, as well as bloggers and newspapers. So this will give you a very good idea, and as we go through, I will talk to you about it and give you a little bit more detail into everything. At the end of it, I would absolutely encourage, or you have that chat button on the side, so please don't hesitate to ask questions, type away, and then I'll try to address them as we go through, or at the very end of the presentation. All right, so let's get going. I've got about a 1-minute video just to get you all excited for what is to come. All right, here we go. I hope everybody enjoyed that quick intro. So let's just jump right into the first reason why. Curaçao is absolutely an affordable destination. It embraces, as it says, it embraces a lot of the authentic, original, and unforgettable spirit. It's an amazing little island. And I say little, but it's really not. It's over 60 kilometers long, and at its narrowest point, it's about 5 kilometers wide. But the great thing about Curaçao is the fact that it's got so much to offer. And as I mentioned before, both from a topside as well as from a underwater perspective. So whether it be nature, history, culture, music, also a whole lot of events that happen throughout the year, it's definitely a place that you should experience. There's lots of different outdoor activities on top of that as well. Another reason you should come is because we're very into sustainable and responsible tourism. The fact is that if we don't have a healthy underwater marine environment, it is very, very difficult to try to even think about selling you a dive package to come down to Curacao, because what are you going to see? So we want to really look after that, and private sector stakeholders, such as Lions Dive Beach Resort, such as Ocean Encounters, the Dive Bus, Go West Diving. A lot of the operators that I represent are very, very responsible in terms of how they look after their operations, but also what they're reinvesting back into the environment. And that also goes to Dive Travel Curaçao, my company, where we're reinvesting 1% of all the revenues over the course of the year right back into core restoration. Just to quickly speak of core restoration, is that right now they have outplanted close to, I think the last count was very, very close to 10,000 corals that they've outplanted back onto the southern shore of Curacao. Most notably is the Ocean Encounters host reef, or the Lions Dive host reef, which has a very massive nursery. But it's a really good example. When you shore dive there, you'll see a lot of different outplanting that has happened over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. As you can see here, we're out there replanting. You can see right in the middle, that's what a coral fragment looks like as it's growing on the tree. And then on the other pictures, that's what we're doing. We're taking them off the trees, we're fragging them, and then we're outplanting them back into sustainable reef structures made of bamboo. And then they're tied to those bamboo quadrants. And then as they grow, in the bottom right or bottom left, you'll see you'll see some other pictures as well, such as this one that's coming up of me diving across the Lions Dive and Ocean Encounters host reef. As you can see there, you'll see a lot of different outplantings that have already developed into massive reef structures, and it's even better now. This was taken just over a year ago. Another great reason to come to Curacao, as reported by the USA Today, but it's a very known fact that Curacao is outside of the hurricane belt. So that gives you 365 days available to come to Curacao. It's an amazing destination that has not only 365 days of sun with an average temperature swing of only 2 degrees, but it also sits outside of the hurricane belt. So it's a very safe destination to book throughout the year. So how do you get to Curacao? Well, there's many, many different ways. There's access from North America, Canada, through Air Canada, WestJet, and also Sunwing. They fly usually direct, either out of Montreal or out of Toronto. You can fly out of Newark, New Jersey, or out of JFK and New York, through United Airlines and JetBlue. Pardon me, too much coffee this morning. And also American Airlines has access through New York, then Miami. They used to fly out of Charlotte, but I think that's shut down right at the moment. And that comes direct straight into Curacao. But out of Europe, you've got KLM, and you've also got TUI. They fly directly out of Amsterdam, and it's a 7-hour flight or so, but it's a direct flight straight to Curacao. So you have plenty of access, and the rates are generally very, very good, depending on the time of year, of course. So must-dive destination. Well, that was according to Forbes for 2019, and I have to admit they're absolutely right. I think everybody should experience Curacao. I can say that because I'm quite biased, as I said before, but the reality is that I think it really is. It offers something different for everybody, whether you're diving on the east side of the island, or you're diving on the west side of the island, or you're diving in the middle of the island. There's over 70 dive sites to explore, so there's more than enough to fill any vacation. And there's enough dive sites on the island that you'll want to come back and explore even more. As you can see here from this slide, here at Dive Curaçao, we developed a full map with over 70 dive sites. I think there's 76 at this point. And each dive site has its own description, its own video, its own directions on how to get there, and also all the tips and advice what to do when you're actually diving there. So I'd invite you to take a look at that. Use that. It's a free service, so you can get around easily, figure out where you want to dive depending on where you're staying, and you can always reach out to me and my team so that we can give you even better advice from a local perspective. We're always here for you. Number 5 reason that you definitely should visit Curacao when it can be dove is a superior producer. For 3 years in a row now, it's been voted as one of the top dive sites in the Caribbean. In fact, it's been rated at number 5, number 6, and number 4 over the last 3 years. So that's a pretty incredible story. And it is really, truly a dive into history because it sunk in September of 1977. But the video that I'm going to provide you was taken before we actually did our research. And so I apologize for that. But so it was actually mislabeled as December 1977, but it actually sunk on September 31st, 1977. And it sunk naturally. So where it sits today, sitting right on its keel, completely upright, it's full of corals, sponges. Tarpons are visiting there in droves, in schools, if you will. And it's really a fantastic dive site. So I'll just play this quick little video for you, and so you can get a much better idea of what it's all about. Sits in just over 100 feet of water, 103 if you really want to dig down on the keel. Such a beautiful shipwreck. I hope you enjoyed that. So we've already touched on the fact that we're very into sustainable and responsible tourism. And yes, conservation is an absolute priority, both in our family life, our personal life, as well as in our professional life. We here on Curacao, along with a bunch of different dive operators here, formed let's say a consortium that basically put 14 of the primary dive sites on Curacao in the adoptive dive site program from Project Aware. So regularly on a monthly basis, these dive sites are cleaned up, and Project Aware has been a major sponsor for diving on Curacao. And that partnership has done a lot of great things for us, not only from a monetary perspective, but also from a support perspective. Those folks are fantastic, and through even there's a company out of the States, a foundation called Force Blue. We just recently did a major cleanup with them, and that was very satisfying because it's not only because of our buddy Keith Sam, but also because of the fact that Force Blue is such a great foundation as well that serves American vets coming back with PTSD and so on and so forth. So it's not just about cleaning up, but it's become a way of life here on Curacao. So conservation is definitely a major priority. As you can see here, these are just some of the different events. We've even partnered with Stream to Sea, not to plug them, but products like theirs really underlines the fact that more things need to be done. More awareness has to be brought forward. People need to be using product that is good for the environment, so it's not washing down into the water table. But you know, we got to get involved as a community to look after our coral reefs as well as our streets. Even my daughter, who's 6 years old, she's so passionate about making sure that, you know, things only go into the garbage. Trash only goes into the garbage. And she participates in cleanups as well. So if we can teach our children at a very young age to look after this planet, I think there's hope. For you photographers out there, especially the macro photographers, you're in for a real treat if you come to Curacao. Yeah, Scuba Diving Magazine did write an article saying that it is the best macro diving in the Caribbean, or one of the best places in the Caribbean to do macro diving. And I got to tell you, all the photographers that I know that have either lived here or have come here to visit certainly tell me that over and over and over again. There's so much small stuff to take a look at. And really, that's what Curacao is all about as well from an underwater perspective. Yes, there's pelagics. There's big stuff like mantas, stingrays, eagle rays, even sharks, whale sharks, believe it or not. At least once or twice a year, there's sightings of whale sharks, dolphins, et cetera, But the real stuff, the real cool stuff is the stuff that is really tiny, like frogfish as an example, trunkfish, that type of thing. So when it comes to macro photography, it's definitely a place to come. As you can see here from just a couple of the photographers that we work with. Shore diving. Who's into shore diving? Well, you're in for a treat as well. You know, we can talk about other destinations that I won't mention that are very close to us, about 26 miles to the east. And my friends there will argue the fact that their island is better. But the reality is that I think both islands are incredible. The thing about shore diving here on Curacao is that it's very, very accessible. And, you know, the reef starts between 50 to 100 feet from the shoreline. I'll just flip to the next slide for you. As you can see here from some of the photos, you know, everything is very accessible. The reef is right there. You've got numerous, I think over 38 of the 76 dive sites that I've listed so far are shore accessible. So if you just take that number alone, even if you're doing 5 dives a day for 7 days, there's no way that you could possibly ever hit them all. Again, leaving room to come back and explore and discover some more. And yes, Number one reason, well, yes, it's the best destination in the Caribbean. Again, I didn't say that, right? I mean, Caribbean Journal said it. I don't think the Curaçao Tourist Board even paid them to say that, but they did say it. And here's a little video to tell you why. Because we really, really do want you to explore the island. It's more than just about diving. But diving is the number one thing to do. You got lots of great beaches, over 38 beaches, lots of nature, a few iguanas, lots of history. We're only showing you a lighthouse here, but if you go downtown, you'll see that famous skyline, Handelsstad, which is right there. Good segue. Good job. Cruise ships do come in, sea aquarium, and some of the best dive resorts in the Caribbean. If you book during the show, you can visit our website, but if you do book during the show, there's an extra 10% in there for you as long as you use the hashtag Scuba.Digital 2020. So thanks, guys. I would absolutely love to open the floor to any questions that you may have. And also, if you hang around at approximately in about 20 minutes, I think, according to Jason, 11:40 my time. So in 20 minutes, we're going to be giving away a trip. Yeah, we're going to be giving away a trip to a dive package with Ocean Encounters and Lions Dive. It's a 7-day stay at Lions Dive and a 5-day boat diving package with Ocean Encounters. And that's for two people. So you got to come back and check it out. And I would love to see you guys down here. As I said, you don't have to win the trip, but you automatically, as long as you're in the show, you get 10% off of any of the dive packages that we're offering through Dive Travel Curaçao. So thanks, Jennifer. Nice job, Brian. I appreciate that, Jennifer. And big shout out to Scott Percival. Good to see you here, buddy. Haley, you love shore diving. That's fantastic. She also says that she loves the Stream to Sea conditioner. Yeah, absolutely. We're actually going to be launching a promotion soon because we're going to be partnering with Stream to Sea to offer it as into our dive packages so that it's here when you arrive on Curacao. Big shout out to Edward. Thanks, Edward. Jim, yeah, buddy. Good to see you. Love your videos on Diveline. Greg, yeah, absolutely. Let's connect. Craig, Morris, can't wait to come back to Curacao. Can't wait to have you back here at Curacao, man. So, yeah, amazing prize, Haley. You got to be here. Who else is here for the prize draw? Yeah, everybody's got to join up. So I'll wait a couple minutes for any questions you guys might have. Can you talk about more shore diving? Yeah, absolutely. How easy is it to get in and out? Lisa asks. It's very, very easy. In some cases, in some of the beaches, I'll be honest, they're coral beaches. In most cases, I would absolutely recommend bringing booties. So open heel fins, booties, much easier to get in and out. So you don't step on coral or anything else that may be in the shallows. But generally, it's very, very easy to get in and out. Thanks, Jennifer. So you know, as I mentioned, the swim out to the reef is not very far. Like the drop off is maybe about 50 to 100 feet. In some cases, it's a little bit further, but not really so bad. If you take a look at, if you go to our YouTube channel at Dive Curaçao, so just go to YouTube, Dive Curaçao, you'll find a whole host of videos. I think I've got about 60 or so just on different dive sites. So it will actually give you a very good understanding of how easy it is to get in and out. Hey, Simon, good to see you from Dominica. Pauline, you mentioned Playa Piscatao is awesome, especially for turtles, frogfish, and seahorse. Yes, absolutely. But one thing you forgot, Pauline, you forgot King Neptune. King Neptune is actually at Playa Piscatao as well. And that is a beautiful statue that sits in about 60 feet of water. Or no, pardon me, around 50 feet of water. And it's very, very cool, especially when there's bait balls in the area, because they end up circling the statue under the water. Awesome. And it's actually the house reef to all West apartments and diving as well, which is another fabulous place to stay. I mean, every room has got an amazing view, amazing sunsets, kitchens, et cetera, and a tank room right in there, so you can pick up your tanks, do unlimited shore diving package, and wow, amazing. So, hey, Nicole, how far away from each other are the listed dive sites? So better to stay somewhere in the middle or anywhere? Well, to be honest with you, Nicole, there's so much to discover that I would, you know, the dive sites are scattered through across the island. There's a lot of dive sites that are close to each other, and there's other dive sites that are a little bit further. Like if you go to the east end of the island, a lot of them are boat diving because of the fact that it's a lot of private property out there. So a lot of the west end dive sites. So if you're really into shore diving, yes, you can stay in the center. There's a great dive shop called the Dive Bus that I would highly recommend for shore diving, especially for people that wanted guided diving or just to jump in a bus and go diving. The other option, of course, is to stay out at All West Apartments and dive with Go West Diving. And then you can have a car, you rent a truck, and load your tanks in the back, and then do all the Western dive sites that are very accessible up and down the west end of the island. How about coral spawning events? Yes, coral spawning events are generally between the end of August to the beginning of November, depending on the lunar cycle, Greg. So I would definitely check back with us, and yearly we put up a calendar telling you when the major spawning events are going to happen. But to be honest with you, there's also spawning events that happen throughout the year. Sponges are spawning throughout the year, but it's the major hard corals that are going to be spawning at a certain period of the year, which again is the end of August to the end of or the beginning of November. Well, hopefully I'm answering all your questions. I think I am almost out of time. I'm going to get kicked off here in a minute by Jason. But I'm going to be back in about 10 minutes to give away a big prize. So stick around because there's lots of cool things to do. And of course, you need to win that prize, right? Who wants to win the prize? I'm waiting. It's a great place to win. So hopefully you check it out. Thank you very much, guys. And stop over. Yeah, me. All right, Haley. All right. Joanna, Tessa. All right. All right. Wow. A lot of people are sticking around to try to win that prize. Simon, come on now. Wow. Look at all these people. Fantastic. Well, hopefully I got you excited enough that you'll stick around. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon, all right?